08.
A CRN original.
Attention, you are about to hear the captivating voice of an icon in the movie industry. You have heard him and seen him in performances in over 140 films. He's met and influenced many world leaders, and now he's about to tell you how to unite the America he loves.
That job's filled.
Unique.
Unique.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
And unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Robert Davi is a Renaissance man who writes, directs, sings, and does it all with excellence.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all very impressed, but let's get on with it now.
Robert Davi believes he should use his voice to both repay and help unite America, the America that made his dreams come true.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Robert Davi Show.
Hello, my dear friends, and I've got great news for you today, if you haven't heard, which I think you have already. California has voted the recall down. Gavin Newsom is still our governor, and I'm so thrilled about that. Let's hear it for Gavin Newsom, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Let's hear it for California. I think this is a great day. I'm so happy it happened. I want to thank Reed Hastings for his $3 million to Gavin Newsom's campaign. I want to thank Jeff Katzenberg, $500,000 to Gavin's campaign. Bette Midler, Steven Spielberg, Leonard DiCaprio for voting no on the recall. I'm just so thrilled that celebrities in Hollywood and the elites came out to support one of their own, Gavin Newsom. Gavin, who's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous elite, white privileged young man, is going to remain governor of California, and taxes will continue to go up. I'm happy about that. And what's astounding to me is 80% of the black community, and I think that's terrific, 80% of the black community voted for Gavin Newsom. And the black guy, or the black face of white supremacy, only got 20%. And that, to me, is a great day in California. And I guess the blacks and Hispanics, I don't know what the whole breakdown is, but I can't wait to see the breakdown. Homeless will increase in California. Gas will go over $6 a gallon. You can go into a store, my dear friends. I'm imploring all of you, go into a store and take out under $1,000 worth of merchandise, because in California, you can still do that. You can take the merchandise out. We can kill small business in California. I'm hoping we have a vaccine mandate. I'm hoping we have mask mandates. I'm hoping we have passports that we need in California. I think we should destroy the economy of California. Gavin Newsom, I want to make more deals with the Chinese like he did the $1.3 billion deal with the non-mask making company to make masks that makes lithium batteries. I want America. I want America to no longer be America. And Gavin Newsom is at the tip of the spear, and I am so thrilled for all of you out there. Really, I appreciate from the bottom of my heart that you voted for him. You voted no on the recall and no on the black man. I think that was fantastic, because we don't want a black man to be governor of California, because, you know, he doesn't relate to being black. He doesn't. He's just the white face of white supremacy. And Donald Trump was the devil incarnate. Donald Trump was the devil incarnate. Joe Biden came out yesterday and he campaigned, and Elizabeth Warren, wonderful Elizabeth Warren, came and campaigned last week. And you had AOC. You had so many tremendous, tremendous Democrats coming to California. The state of Nancy Pelosi, whose father was allegedly in bed with the mafia. I don't know, when he was Baltimore mayor, selling drugs or selling. I don't know if that's true or not. It's something that I read on the internet. But the internet is nothing. You know, I mean, we don't have to. We don't have to pay attention to anything online anymore, because it's all Russian collusion anyway. And she was also the one that gave the Presidio to Gorbachev to create a different agenda for America. So I say yes to the 1619 project. That's going to go forward in California. Critical race theory. We've got to be at the top of our game in California, because let me tell you something. It's great to be a Democrat. in California. It is wonderful to be a Democrat. You know, because we're winners. Democrats are winners. You better believe it, my dear friends. You won. You did a great job out there. Of course, I fainted. I said I was conservative. I am not. I did that to misinformation all of you. And I just wanted to pretend that I was, because I'm not really. I am a progressive left-wing communist. And I'm going to run for governor. I'm going to run for governor in 2022 because I'm going to give you even more than Gavin Newsom gave. I'm going to do even better. I'm going to go further left. I'm going to go left of Gavin Newsom and AOC because California wants that. The people want that. You the people. I just love each and every one of you, and we're going to take no more religion, no more mention of God in California is going to be on the platform. We're going to be a secular nation because when you have secular, see, then communism can come in. If you believe in God or Judeo-Christian values, that's a curse. We're going to have more homeless. I'm going to give the transgendered population and the gay population anything they need and want to thrive. We're going to give monthly stipends to illegal immigrants. We're going to have a monthly stipend of $3,000, and we're going to raise taxes to 90% so we can give them the money they deserve and need. They're going to get free rent. All you have to do is show your vaccine card, and you'll have free rent in my California. I'm going to cancel all mortgages and all state taxes for people that have vaccine mandates. We're going to do the biggest giveaway ever. And every Thanksgiving, I promise you, there will be a frozen turkey that shows up at your front step with some yams and collard greens, or whatever you want, tamales, eggplants for the Italians, whatever you want as a side dish, lasagna. We'll give to you. We will send to you every Thanksgiving because we're California, and we do it better and we do it right. Gavin Newsom is just the most eloquent. It just is. I just have to say, I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled. Almost 70% of the vote he got. 60-some-odd percent. It was a blowout. It's a tremendous blowout, and I want to thank, all the people on the conservative people. I want to thank all of you conservatives out there on talk shows, every single one of you, because I just got to tell you, you didn't make a dent in anything. You know what I mean? Because I got to tell you something. You don't know how to communicate. No, you keep speaking to the same lane. You know what's going to happen? You drive in the same lane every single day. They all drive in the same lane. So you don't widen the you know what I mean? You pretend you do, but you don't widen the lane. None of yous widen the lane. You just keep riding in that same lane and you get a traffic jam, and that's what happens. Meanwhile, the Democrats and progressives they've got multiple lanes, and they're just going at it full speed. They just know how to do it. And Larry Elder was gracious in defeat, I got to say. We may have lost the battle, but we're going to win the war. Yeah, that's another good little pump. It makes me feel a lot better, right? We have lost the battle, but we're going to win the war. How great do you feel about that? That's right. We lost the Battle of Normandy, but we're going to win the war. It's at a certain point you have to scratch your head and say, you know what? What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? You see, people are saying that the blacks keep voting for the same people and the Democrats, and what is it with people? It's I'm tired of this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. First time I heard that was when my ex-wife was in rehab. And the NA program talked about this. And I used to go to, Alcohol Anonymous and stuff and learn about addiction. I learned about addiction because my family members had some issues with it. Thank God they're fine now, except for one son he's struggling through it, and I pray for him every single day. And addiction is a terrible thing. And you have to have a sensitivity to that, which I do. I have an understanding of it, not only a sensitivity of it. So when they say to me, when I hear on the right, and every talk show says it, well, and definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting this. I have had it. Because I have laid the blueprint for the GOP for 20 years. I've laid the blueprint. Not Mark, not Sean, none of them. Me. That's right. This dumb actor over here. But you know what? They don't listen. They don't listen. It's all in there, in code, like the Da Vinci Code. It's the Davi Code. I've broken the code. But none of them listen. They don't know how. And that's okay. Because you know what? I'm so happy that Gavin Newsom won. Yeah, because I'm a progressive Democrat. And the Democrats are going to go there. And the recall thing, they're going to limit the future recalls because it's not, it's not democratic. I understand. You know what I mean? Lack of masculinity in Republicans who claim fraud. That's interesting. Newsom, Republicans are trying to dismantle democracy. Newsom. Bring back the California dream. Dodger legend, the Hall of Famer Mike Piazza goes to bat for Larry Elder. Biden has coughing fit at Gavin Newsom rally in California. Christian pastors urge congregations to vote for Larry Elder in recall election. Vote their biblical worldview. Well, you know what? None of it worked. Anyway, I love everybody. Back in a few minutes. We're going to continue on this wonderful resurrection of my democratic spirit. Because we're headed toward democratic.
I'm Al Simon, 91 years young. I created Balance 7 20 years ago. At 67, I went to see the doctor for the first time in my life and found that I had medical problems. He told me that was normal for my age. I don't believe God intended us to be sick and old. I decided to find something to bring my health back. For 10 years, I studied pH and how important it is to the human system. Balance 7 gave me back what I lost by getting older. I no longer get out of bed with a joint discomfort. No more stiffness. Balance 7 can do for you what it has done for me and many others. In 3 days' time, you'll feel more energy, less joint discomfort, and clarity of thinking. Balance 7 is the key to unlocking the healthy immune system. Bring your body back to balance.
Order now and receive free shipping with the code word HORN. Go to balance7.com. That's balance7.com. Order now and get free shipping with the code word HORN. Go to balance7.com. That's balance7.com. Balance7.com. For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Robert Davi.
I want you to know this is nothing personal. It's purely business.
So I want to thank everybody out there, all the conservative talk shows, all the networks. What a wonderful job you did in terms of getting the message out. You did. You tried your best, but I'm so glad progressives are better at it. And what can I say? It's just the way it is, because if you can't affect the people, what good are we? If you're talking to the same, it's like Jonestown. You got Jonestown. So the same Jonestown drinks the Kool-Aid. And the wide tent of the Democratic Party is astounding. It's just tremendous. It's so vibrant and so beautiful. You can have a hypocrite go to the French Laundry and order a $12,000 bottle of wine. You can have politicians not have a mask mandate at Congress. You could tell the people that you can't open unless they're wearing masks, but a big store like Walmart, they can go in there. But they close the small business down, and the people drink it up. They drink it up. 60, 70% of the people drink it up. How great is that? How tremendous are they? You think all those people are stupid? They say a large portion of the educated people that go to college and have masters and all the whatnot, all the wonderful educated people. Look at, you just have to listen to some of these people talk sometimes. And, they think differently. Their synapses are totally different. Their synapses are totally different. It's like talking to a Charles Bukowski novel. Charles Bukowski was a drunkard who was a great writer, literary guy, giant, loved by the counterculture with John Fonte and stuff like that. And you can kind of like the rambling aspect of, like On the Road, Kerouac. And the educators, they've just captured the imagination of people, and they're so vibrant, so beautifully vibrant. I applaud you all. I applaud the education system in California and America. You've done a tremendous job. And Bill Ayers, I'm sorry that I criticized you and Bernadette Dorn. But what you guys have done to America and for America, I've got to thank you. And we've got to tear down more statues. We've got to erase the history. I'm all for it. Because that's what everybody wants. That's what the majority rules. And if majority wants it, give it to them. Give it to them. You know what I'm saying? You have to give it to them. Let them have it. What are we fighting for anymore? Why would I send my son to battle? For who? Oh, they say for our freedoms. Another joke. Our freedoms? Taxation without representation? And we're getting it every day shoved right in our tuchuses. The whole 9 yards of everything just getting shoved right into our face. Don't forget George Soros put a lot of money into Gavin Newsom. And we let George Soros do it. And that is wonderful. And the L.A. Times, the guy from the L.A. Times, everyone was afraid to really expose him. They're all afraid to expose him because he's worth about $9 billion. So you can't go up against him and the media elite and the Hollywood elite. So what happens? What happens is, you do your little talk shows, and like I did, and you try to think that they're going to, and they're not going to listen. They're not. It's a pimple, not even on an elephant's ass. It's a pimple on Jupiter's ass. It's so big and overblown and so powerful. And you're going to say to me, well, you're giving up, you're throwing in the towel, and we're going to just start the fight? You know what? I'm not going to tell you that. No, I'm not going to tell you we're going to start the fight. But you know why? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You don't know how to fight. You really don't know how to fight. None of you do. In the conservative side. How terrible. Why? If I was going to run for governor, and I've told this to some of the people that were running for governor. I did ads for John Cox because they got me early on. I had lunch with him, nice man. I gave him some strategies. I also even sent Larry Elder a couple of pointers. And I said, and I'm going to tell you on the air my strategy. Because if I ran for governor right now, I would have gone into the black communities. I would have gone into the Hispanic communities. I would have had town halls with the blacks. Give me the blacks. Democrats. I want Democrats. I would have gone into Maxine Waters' district. And I would have had town halls with the blacks. Now, there was an article. I want to bring John on for a second because this is how it all starts. And he sent me this article on Monday. Or yesterday morning when I couldn't make it because I have a production meeting on the film I'm directing. Terrific film I'm directing. And I have a film coming out on Friday called I Love Us. You should see it. Danny A. Apagazer directed it, and it's with Katie Cassidy and Ilya Baskin, and has a terrific cast. Harley Jane, and it's a crime family drama, but it's a terrific film. Comes out Friday. Look it up. I Love Us. It's heartbreaking in some aspects. So, John, baby.
What's up with it, baby?
How's it going, my brother?
Man, it's going.
My brother. Yes. All right. Now, we were supposed to have a discussion yesterday.
Yes.
And whatever, it was Monday, but then that was another thing, took a turn. But I want to get to that discussion because it's important. Even though the election's over, it's probably even better to have it now.
Absolutely.
Now, I said to you, you didn't know much about Larry Elders last week.
No.
You know, on Monday, whatever it was, we were talking. He says, you didn't really know much about him.
Right.
And there was something that you didn't, whatever, you didn't respond to it. And I was asking you questions, and we have that.
Yeah.
And you said, no, I didn't. And anyway. But then you sent me this article, and my contention is, well, go ahead. Let's talk about that article you sent me.
So, based on my research and just looking up, certain things that he said, and whether it be in interviews and watching particular videos of him just speaking his views, I respect everybody's opinion. There were just certain things that almost confirmed my, apprehension in a sense. And so a lot of it was his viewpoints on social issues such as George Zimmerman, and Trayvon Martin. Didn't sit well with me. When you make a statement saying, I would wanted George Zimmerman sitting, living in my neighborhood, it's like, what are you really saying? I agree with him in certain points of, the African-American community playing victim. It's like, okay, that's a small percentage, but then are we also addressing the other issues that have plagued the African-American community? Are we talking about redlining and gentrification? Are we talking about being denied bank loans? Like, are there answers that you have towards that, or is it just more critical? So the article that I sent was just kind of like, this is what I see and how it confirms, again, me not necessarily.
Well, let's pull up the article. Can we pull that article up?
Absolutely. We have about 30 seconds, so we'll pull it up and come back to it.
Okay, yeah, because I want to go through it a little bit, and I want to talk about who Trayvon Martin was and who George Zimmerman was, and the counterpoint of that, and how they cherry-picked some of what he said and not further down the line. Because that is, we could do that with anyone. We could do that with any politician. And I want to find out, as much as the truth we can without having Larry here. Davi, back in a minute with John.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-391-8713. 800-391-8713. That's 800-391-8713.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808. Tired of lockdown? Let the reconnect begin. You belong here. Welcome home to the magic of Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California. Check out our new spacious outdoor dining al fresco. Romantic, market lights. It looks like a movie set. Dine under the stars and enjoy our tasty Angelo's and Vinci's pizza, pasta, seafood, chicken, salad dinners, and more. In the cool of the evening, come enjoy our award-winning menu, new wine list, specialty cocktails like our peach Bellini martini, appetizers, and more. Angelo's and Vinci's now open every day from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for relaxing outdoor dining. No reservations needed. Just come on in for delicious Italian food. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. Call 714-879-4022. We're going to need a lot of pasta to get through this year. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton today.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Robert Davi Show.
This is authentic. Una furtiva lacrima negli occhi.
So we have this article. You want to put it up, John? Let's see what this article is here. It's California voters. This is who Larry Elder is, and it's on Crooks and Liars. And it's an interview that Larry Elders and Piers Morgan have about Rachel, what's her name? Rachel Gentel. And it's this whole interview, and it's a story. And what they do is they take bits and pieces of what Elders said, and they then frame the story. Of course they do. He's the black face of white supremacy, so they have to. They have to attack Larry on this level. Now, what I say is this. John, you there? What are you doing, John?
I'm here. I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh, I thought you had. All right, you had. Forget about it. It's too late. Can we have? Can I have a little more in this? A little more here. A little more of this. Yes. Has it come? Yeah, that's better. Was I on? Was I on loud enough?
Yeah.
On the air? So, yeah, because it was very muted. So George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, and what Larry Elder was saying, and what he's referencing. He goes, and he mentions in the same article, and no one talks about this, and we have to look up. I want you to look up, John, Ariel Castro. Ariel Castro. A-R-I-E-L-C-A-S-T-R-O from Cleveland. And who was Ariel Castro? Let's read about Ariel Castro for a second, because you have Trayvon Martin and you've got George Zimmerman. And this is a reference that Larry Elder was. So let's make all the references so we can get a kind of. Do you have anything on Ariel?
I see here it says, hopefully this is the same one that you're mentioning. Is he related to kidnappings? Is this correct?
Yeah.
It says the Ariel Castro kidnappings took place between 2002 and 2004 when Ariel Castro kidnapped Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Georgina De Jesus and held them captive in his home in the Tremont neighborhood of Cleveland, Ohio.
Right. And for how long were they held?
Let's see here. This particular article doesn't say off top. He said the three girls were in prison until May 6th of 2013. So between 2002 and 2013.
Okay, so Ariel Castro. So you see what it is, and this is the I see the hypocrisy of life.
Okay.
That you have somebody like George Zimmerman, and I've never really, and I'm not going to go on that article, but it's an article because it's, again, skewed. I have not researched that. I have not looked at the records. I don't know what it is, and I think none of us do. We know somewhat of the myth of it. You know what I'm saying? We know some
of what happened with George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin?
Yeah. We know that Trayvon Martin was killed.
Yes.
We know that, but from what they were saying, there was some kind of altercation. Now, I don't know if there was or not. I don't know the whole story.
Right.
I do know that there is a knee-jerk reaction from people that might be in fear on both levels.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have fear on both levels, things happen.
Absolutely.
That shouldn't happen.
Right.
And in other words, for whatever reason, out of anger, out of so many different things happen. But what Larry Elder was referring to in this instance was to look at it as well, and I'm not making an excuse for it, but if there was a George Zimmerman in that Cleveland community, maybe the Ariel Castro kidnappings of those women wouldn't have happened. And he's saying if there was a George Zimmerman in South Chicago or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm not making an excuse for that. I'm saying it's out of context and not speaking to Larry Elder about it. I don't know what his nuance of it is and how he would then explain this to us. But you brought it up.
And it's very poor, because I feel as though you could say we need a neighborhood watch or community policing.
We do.
Right. And I can agree with that. But the fact that you utilize George Zimmerman, which polarized our society and kind of, gave birth to this new age that we're living in, where we're seeing unarmed black men or black children, people of color, or anybody for that matter that are unarmed, whether they be white, Latino, whatever, being killed. It was a very poor choice of an analogy, in my opinion, because of the simple fact that the facts are George Zimmerman called the police, and there was the recording that came out of the 911 dispatch that said, hey, I'm following this kid because I have suspicions. And the dispatcher's saying, okay, well, don't follow him.
Don't
You know what I mean?
engage.
And then now you're inside of this altercation. Whatever ensued, granted, we weren't there, so I can't say definitively what happened, other than speculation. But then next thing you know, this unarmed kid loses his life, going back home, or even if, let's say hypothetically speaking, he did just commit a crime, the police told you to not follow him.
Right.
So with me being in the position that we had this conversation Monday, where I'm like, how do things affect me personally now that I'm in this new space within my life, right? 2 children, I have 2 sons.
Yeah.
So you said that you wanted George Zimmerman in your neighborhood, which you grew up in South Central, similar to where I grew up. That George Zimmerman in my neighborhood, seeing my sons as they get older, walking home from whether it be a market or from the park or wherever the case may be, that's problematic for me.
Right.
That doesn't sit well. Now, if you were to say, hey, if we had a community, or if you're embracing community whether it be a community policing or community neighborhood watch, whatever the case may be, encouraging the community to get to know one another, to avoid crimes, or be able to alert the police when things happen. That's different, and I can get with that. I can understand that.
Okay.
But the fact that you utilized this example was very poor for me.
What if one of your boys, let's say he was 10 or 12,
okay,
and he was sexually molested by this Trayvon Martin in your community?
Okay.
How would you feel? No, be honest.
Extremely angry.
And if somebody protected your son from that, would you still think, and his name was George Zimmerman, would you still feel the same way? So
I feel as though, and
it's a trick question.
But it is, and to be consistent, it's like let's go through the proper process. That's part of the reason why we have the legal system. And for me, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump out the window.
No,
like,
I'm not saying.
I'm
not saying. I'm saying
okay.
There was some altercation, and it needs to be, because we have to really explore and get to the underbelly of these issues, the truth of these issues, to then say the left uses them to do this, to make the black community go, another demonizing, the white face of the black face of white supremacy, and it's a complex issue. But what I'm saying is that there is a reason. There was a reason. There are reasons. We have rampant crime in this city. And when the police say, look the other way, and if you're a guy that thinks, wait a second, this just happened. I mean, again, I don't know. And I'm not justifying George Zimmerman's thing. I don't have the case in front of me. I'm just saying it was used to demonize Larry Elder as somebody that isn't with the black community, which may or may not be true. I find it hard to believe,
right?
But it may or may not be true. Now, if you talk about the neighborhood watch,
okay,
all right, like I think it was maybe 2 months after 9/11, I came up with Civilian Patrol 93.
Okay.
And every year they talk about, and this year they did it, and they went to Pennsylvania where Flight 93, those guys said, let's roll. Mm-hmm. And I knew Tom Ridge. I had a meeting with Tom Ridge, and then I had a meeting with the guy after him that was head of Homeland Security. And I had a meeting with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he became governor, and his head of Homeland Security, because I came up with an idea called Civilian Patrol 93. When we come back, we will talk about Civilian Patrol 93, Earth Force, and what the GOP is brain dead and stupid and will never win. I'll be back. Davi.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Columbo's, since 1954, has been serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's is still doing something right. It's why so many travel from the West Side and the Valleys to experience and enjoy what Eagle Rock has known for years. Columbo's is truly something special. Columbo's serves up some of the most succulent, delicious steaks, as well as outstanding seafood offerings in all of Southern California. And the Columbo family's Italian specialties are worth the trip from anywhere. Columbo's is a memory maker. Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock, 323-254-9138. 323-254-9138. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's, of course.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/find. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I, live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/find. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
The Robert Davi Show.
Mike? You let me down, Mike. You're making me look bad. I thought we had an understanding. And all I expect is a little cooperation!
Sorry, Robert.
To just digress for a second, and we were talking off camera, John and I, and brought up several points. One of the points I came, when the police said, leave him alone, who's to say that Trayvon Martin wasn't working with the police? Who's to say he wasn't a gang member or part of a gang member and he was not feeding information? Who the hell knows what could have happened or maybe it's something else. But the truth of it is we will never really know because both sides use it for whatever they need it for. Getting to this Civilian Patrol 93.
Okay.
So this was right after 9/11. I came up with Civilian Patrol 93. I've written about it. You can go online, Robert Davi, Civilian Patrol 93. And what it was a more extended neighborhood watch. Because remember the time of the 9/11, everyone was going orange, red, green. We don't know what the hell to do. And they said, just go shopping, go to the mall. If you see something, say something. That doesn't work.
Right.
That doesn't work because the FBI. So I said, you know what, guys, this is old. You can't do it. And I talked to many people in the GOP who are brain dead and stupid. And I said to them, Civilian Patrol 93, just like I said about the Earth Force. People don't understand how to communicate big ideas. They stay with their lane. They stay with the stupidity of their lane. And I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it. I can't deal with it anymore. I can't deal with the stupidity of it. So what happens is, Civilian Patrol 93, imagine if everyone in the community, John, myself, say we live where? Culver City or Northridge or Studio City. Say we're living in that community, John, where we say, you know what, Civilian Patrol 93, it could be a good thing for our community. Mm-hmm. And we get in touch with people, because I envisioned at the time Bush, and then I envisioned Obama, and then I envisioned Trump coming out and saying, hey, I want to start Civilian Patrol 93. And do you remember what happened in San Diego when the woman saw something in the garage and she was afraid to call the police?
No, I'm not familiar.
There was a big thing. There was some kind of event. I don't know if it was a synagogue, but somebody went in and they killed a bunch of people. And they saw them prepare for it, but were afraid of being, saying they were racially profiling. So they never said anything. Civilian Patrol 93 takes it out of the hands of people being afraid of getting sued or being whatever. So you and I would join Civilian Patrol 93 from our community. Maybe there's 10 of us. Maybe there's 5 of us. Whatever, how big of the community is, that's what you have. You then are slight background check because you don't want crazies. You are then trained several weekends, sensitized with the FBI and with local law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And you become the conduit between your community and the law enforcement. So what does that mean? It means, I'm John Merchant, how are you? I live in this community. I'm part of Civilian Patrol 93. So if you see anything criminal, if you think it's a drug issue, you think something's going on, suspicious, please feel free to give us a call, and we'll look into it a little further. And just want you to know we're here in the community watching to keep us safe from whatever may happen. So, and then I do the same thing, and you canvass. So what happens? People don't know who their neighbors are. They don't know who's in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And at that time, there were bomb-making facilities, drug-making facilities, all kinds of shit going down.
Right.
So we have, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And so that was a, Civilian Patrol 93 was a more extended neighborhood watch. Now, there's, you know, and it's not like anybody gets, and all you do is say, call me if you see anything. So if there is a threat assessment in a certain community, if terrorism, white, black, what do they call it? White supremacy, black lives, and Antifa, whatever it might be, you can say, hey, to local law enforcement, I saw something, or somebody could call you that's afraid. You know, there's something, you can kind of suss it out. And then if you feel there's a threat assessment, then you kind of report it to the authorities.
Right.
And you say, and it just helps. It just helps people sleep at night a little more. And when we were having those threats, look for a pink Volkswagen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And people weren't paying attention to it. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, the eyes and ears, and, you know, we're going to, that's not good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they'll do everything else. We're going to have passports for vaccines.
Right.
If you're not wearing a mask, I mean, everything else that they want to do, they will do, except to keep us safe.
Right.
To control us, but keep us safe all of a sudden becomes another issue. And the same thing with the Earth Force. When I talked about that, you heard me talk about the Earth Force many times, I think.
Absolutely.
Where there's so many people that can, if the environment and the forest fires and everything else. Imagine if Larry Elder said, you know what, I'd like to institute an Earth Force in California. For every 59 applicants in the inner cities, my inner cities. You know? The other thing I would have done, I would have put on whiteface as Larry Elder. I would have done a town hall meeting in whiteface. They call me the black face of white supremacy. How do you combat? How do you get it? You know what I'm saying? I would have put on whiteface. I would have absolutely put on whiteface. Then I would have had town hall meetings in the black community. I would have gone in the black communities with whiteface on me and go, I'm Larry Elder, and I want you to know I'm the black face of white supremacy. But I want to understand, why do you vote Democrat? Why do you vote Democrat? I want to understand. We have to understand. Go into the black community. Why are you voting? Why are 80% of you voting for Democrats? Is the state doing such a great job for you? Is it because you get free stuff? What is it? I want to understand the reasoning why. Tell me. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
No.
Do you know why?
I have speculation.
What is some of the speculation?
I think a lot of it has to deal with just the conditioning, the programming. A lot of the policies that come out, they feel as though that it benefits them, whether it be, you know, a lot of the liberal issues.
Like what are they? What do we know for specific or not?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I know that on a general scale, especially when we look at the last 4 years, right? You had a lot of, primarily the southern states, that came out and showed Southern pride, that aligned themselves with the Confederacy and different things of that nature. And the southern states deal with a lot of racism. So when you look at it, again, on a broader scale, when you have a black community that's looking at the opposing party, there may be certain issues that are very conservative that they agree with, the religious aspect of it. You know, when it comes to budgeting and infrastructure, it's like they agree and align themselves with those principles and ideas, but it's like you look at the supporters of that party, and it's like there's the divide.
Well, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do you really believe most of the southern state people believe in the Confederacy still?
Only based on the images that are given, but I've been to southern states and I didn't necessarily get that energy, but I know I have friends and colleagues, associates that live there and say, this is what we see, this is what exists, this is our experiences.
What are their experiences?
It's a lot of racism, a lot of, let's keep up these, Confederate monuments that, clearly supported slavery, and it's like they feel the pressure of that.
Right. What I think it is not negating the past. It's not agreeing with the past.
But that's how it's viewed. You know what I mean?
That's how the media and that's how the left wing and the Marxists, they do it. They're able to frame it like that. Instead of, I have no attachment to a Robert E. Lee statue just that he's a guy that he did some good things after the war.
Such as?
He did a lot of good things after the war. Let's look it up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we'll look that up for tomorrow.
And part of the issue, I feel, again, going back to the black community, it's like, what were his principles, and were those good things beneficial to the black community? So again, with the mindset of, if this is what the right or those that are Republican or align themselves with right issues, if their supporters are in support of figures that supported slavery or on opposite sides of the war, it's like, okay, this is a personal attack because my ancestors, my family members are literally directly connected to that time period where they were oppressed, where they were segregated and had to work so hard and fight so hard for liberation, for freedom. And so again, there's a lot of miscommunication. I don't know all of the details, but it's like, I know when I see certain things, it's like, this isn't right. This, we know that slavery isn't right. We can't negate that. That's non-negotiable. So to praise somebody that participated or was fighting for my ancestors or those that came before me to be slaves, still, it gets deep.
Yeah, we have to pick this up, John, because we're off the air now. And we have to, you're back when again?
I'll be back next week.
Next week. So hopefully, if I'm here and still okay, we'll come back and we'll talk about this. Some of the stuff that Lee did after the war. Also, the complexity of, the past is the past. At a certain point, you have to say the past is the past. Now, and I understand what you're saying in terms of there are people that are also... look, this white supremacy thing was Democratic. The Ku Klux Klan was Democrats. They were the Dixiecrats. They were the Dixiecrats, not the Democratic Party. And they still keep the black people on the plantation. And 80%, and their policies are bad for the black community. But yet the black community will still bow to the master. That's what's happening. Because it's gotten no better in education. So that, to me, is insane. And I want to go into black communities with you and find out why, John. We got to find out why. Anyway, God bless you. God bless America. And ciao.
Are you tired of your favorite talk show sounding like this? What if you can hear your favorite talk shows in crystal clear, high-definition sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio, 7 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before. In true CRN high-definition audio, the difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Michael Medved, Tom Hartman, Stephanie Miller, Larry Elder, Sebastian Gorka, Charlie Kirk, and more. Fred Dreyer on sports, entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Lounge, The What's Cooking Show, The What's Cooking on Wine Show.